there's a massive announcement coming out of the White House, coming out of Trump in just a few hours. And this is speculated to be maybe one of the biggest announcements happening over the next couple months. A lot of people speculating on something that could drastically change the course of Bitcoin, the course of the markets as well. So we'll go through that. We'll speculate a little bit as well, but we'll also talk about what's happening right now. There are some announcements within crypto. Bitcoin is ripping right now, actually from just a few hours ago, actually like an hour ago, we have Bitcoin going up $2,500. So we'll be going through some of the news now. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. Also, if you do want to trade crypto, check out the link underneath the video to BYDeFi. You can start trading in just a few minutes. You don't have to KYC. You don't need a VPN. We still have this competition going right now too, where you can get tons of free money. The prize pool is $28,000 right now. And the more you trade, the more money you get. So check this out underneath the video. And if you want to join my Telegram too, there's a link to that. I post videos early there. I give exclusive trades sometimes, that kind of thing. So check it out. Now, like I said, Bitcoin is ripping right now. We were actually moving up overnight based on, Eastern time here. You can see we were moving up throughout the last few days, kind of just chopping higher. Then we took a pretty big dump, like a quick liquidation dump from 110,700 down to 108,400, and then straight up. Like, this is manipulation if I've ever seen it. You can see liquidations. This is a classic look whenever we have liquidations. You just see acceleration downward, then we hit a bottom, and then looks like we're pricing the exact same mixed with spot buying on the market open. Just a few minutes before the market open, we started to rally back up, and now we're at 111,100. We went up to 111,500. So a pretty fast move there. If we look at altcoins, let's look at Ethereum, the darling of Wall Street right now. Kind of the same thing, just less pronounced to the upside. But we do have some big buys this week. For example, MicroStrategy just announced that they bought 4,000 Bitcoin worth $450 million at about 111,000 per Bitcoin. They have a Bitcoin yield year to date of 25.7%. We have a Ethereum buy announced today. Jack Ma linked Yangfeng Financial buys 10,000 Ethereum worth 44 million. So it's not just the US buying cryptos now. Looks like the Chinese companies here are starting to run the MicroStrategy playbook. Jack Ma is one of the founders of Alibaba, a $340 billion e-commerce company similar to Amazon. So pretty significant there, pretty big buy there. But we'll see if they continue, because I don't think they've announced buys before, or I've missed it if they have. It'll be interesting if, the second largest economy in the world started to have the same thing that the US has, which is companies popping up every other day buying Ethereum and Bitcoin. And if they could buy in the same size, can you imagine that? We have companies here buying billions of dollars of Ethereum. If they could do something like that, that would push up the price very quickly. Just another casual Monday night for gold, nearing $3,600 per ounce for the first time in history as global central banks cut rates into inflation. Yeah, people are trying to protect themselves because we are seeing a bit of a bounce on inflation over the last couple months, but at the same time, the governments need to print money. They need to lower interest rates for their own debt obligations, but also because they need to keep the economy going, right? You can't have inflation going up into, an economy where people are laid off, into an economy that doesn't grow. So this is causing gold to bounce. I also think this is another reason that people like Bitcoin, and Bitcoin doesn't always react positively to higher interest rates because people then, or to higher inflation rates, because then people think higher interest rates are coming. So it's not always one-to-one correlation. But in a world where politicians continue to print money, continue to make stupid decisions, Bitcoin does well. I heard someone say that you buy Bitcoin because you're pessimistic on the government. You buy stocks or even real estate because you're optimistic about the government, which honestly is kind of makes sense to me. But I think you can be a realist and also buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin RSI down at 44, so not quite even into neutral right now. So this little pump does basically nothing to make us overheated. We do have a big announcement coming out of the White House, coming from the Oval Office at 2 p.m. Eastern time. This is coming from Donald Trump. You know, I'm around a lot of different people with a lot of different political views, and it sounds like just about everyone is mentioning that he has not been seen in a while. His health doesn't look good. You know, there are a lot of pictures of his hand. And according to people close to him, he's talking about heaven a lot. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know, obviously, if he's going to be announcing like, hey, I'm not in good health, or if he's just announcing some news about a trade deal or tariffs, or if he's announcing, hey, I'm stepping down, right? Who knows? Who knows what happens? So there could be some volatility depending on what comes out of that. If he announces that he's stepping down or something like that, or that he's in bad health, I could definitely see Bitcoin reacting to the downside, just because Trump's been such a huge advocate for Bitcoin and has been very pro-Bitcoin and pro-crypto. I could see that happening. Now, I'm not saying to go sell or anything like that. That's just, that's a speculation from a lot of people. And if that happens, I could see a scenario where we fall down a little bit. Now, I'm not trimming positions because of an announcement 3 hours from now. No, I think that might be a little bit short-sighted because most likely it's not that, right? There's so many different things that he could be talking about. It's probably not his health, but again, that's why a lot of people are speculating. So we'll have to see. Of course, JD Vance has said recently that he's ready to become president. So he's been pro-crypto in the past as well. I'm not sure he's to the same extent as Trump, because Trump's enacted so much change, but maybe he's just been a little bit more passive because he's the vice president, so he's going with what Trump wants. Now, World Liberty Fi is live now. Over the last, looks like just over the last day, it came on CoinMarketCap, and it spiked up and then fell like a lot of cryptocurrencies, a lot of big hyped cryptocurrencies. It's around a $23 billion market cap right now, and it has $4 billion in trading volume, $5.67 billion in market cap. It is tradable on BYDFi. They're trying to add it to futures. Maybe it's already on futures right now, but you can check out BYDFi underneath the video if you want to start trading it. Obviously, there's a ton of volume. And then this was interesting too. I hear a lot of people say this in my videos. This is the worst cycle, right? This cycle sucks. I'm in the red and underwater. Crypto is a scam. Digital Asset News, Rob says, stop crying and start buying. If you got wrecked on stupid meme coins and alts, then that's on you. Your 1 year return just by buying $100 a day is shown here, which not everyone can buy $100 a day, but you could buy $10 a day, and the profit and loss would be the same thing. XRP, you'd be up nearly 100%. HBAR, 71%. Ethereum, 67%. Link, 51%. TRX, 47%. Hype, 46%. BNB, 32%. ADA, 31%. SUI, 22%. Bitcoin, 22%. That's fantastic. That's a great return. Keep in mind, that's dollar cost averaging. If you had bought Bitcoin, let's just look up the price of Bitcoin. If you had bought it exactly a year ago and put all your money in, you'd be up 92%. If you had bought Ethereum 1 year ago, you'd be up 79%. So if you timed it a little bit better too, or if you bought when others were fearful, let's say you bought during April, but you were like a week off from the bottom or 2 weeks, you'd still be up 173%. So I have said to a lot of people, or I've said a lot during this bull run, that there are a couple small altcoins that I'm buying, but for the most part, like 98 to 99% of my portfolio is in the biggest cryptocurrencies, most of that being Bitcoin. And outside of that, I do have an allocation to long positions, which have paid off extremely well this cycle. I'm up hundreds of percents on most of my positions. Even this one that looks like it's in the red by 30%. I had a position and closed it when it was up over 100%. So I'm still up, if I'm doing my math right, like 40 or 45% in this position, even though it shows red, because I rolled all of the proceeds into another position. So we've been able to make life-changing amounts of money. When I want to go more risk on, I use low leverage on some of the big cap cryptos, and it's worked really well. So I'd much rather do that than invest in a bunch of small cryptos. So again, if you want to trade, there's a link to BYDFi. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Let me know if you have any speculation on Trump, his announcement that comes in about 3 hours. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.